Hi folks, this is Nathan Carter and you're listening to Howard Myers on Irish Country Music Radio.
Yes, indeed. This is Howard Myers, Irish Country Music Radio, coming to you live from Studio 13 on this Wednesday night. Now, of course, tonight is the big night for Glór Tíre on TG Car. Irish Country Music Radio, of course, is covering the next 9 weeks of contestants and their mentors. And tonight is the turn of Andrew Kenny. That was Andrew there with a great cover of Tougher Than the Rest. Andrew's being mentored by the legendary Brendan Shine. And I'm delighted to say I've got Andrew on the line right now. Good evening, Andrew.
A very good evening to you, Howard. Great to talk to you. How are you this evening?
I'm very well. How are you feeling not long now before the performance on TG Car?
I'm feeling great. Obviously, a tad little bit nervous, but that goes with the territory, I think, no matter who the performer or what the occasion. But they're very positive nerves because I have a very much experienced mentor in the name of Brendan Shine, who has 50 years of it behind him. So I'm in very capable hands, Howard.
You are indeed. I think very capable hands. Brendan Shine is, I think I use the word legend. It's not a word I use lightly, but Brendan has been around for many, many years. And I understand that you met Brendan at a very young age.
At the tender age of 8 years of age, Howard, yes. All those years ago, Clontarf Castle in Dublin. Brendan had a residency there for a few years and he played a full week in Clontarf Castle. So that was my first real Brendan Shine gig. And I just loved his natural Irish way about him, the way he'd sing about everyday Irish life in his songs, and then his musical ability with the accordion. He would have been the first real accordion player that I would have got to know. So when you mix the two together, his musical ability and his Irish singing, it made for a nice sound, and I took to it straight away.
You were obviously musical from a very early age.
Yes, I think if I go back to maybe the age of 5, 6, I think my folks, my mum and dad, knew I could sing from an early age, and I think the first time I sang would have been at a local wedding. I can remember about 8, 9 years of age. I sang a song called The Gypsy Rover with a band called the Evergreens, and I can vaguely remember it, and there's a very, very dodgy photograph of me at that tender age that will remain under lock and key. And that always reminds me of that first performance. And from there on, I've had a love for music. And to date, Howard, I suppose my main music experience would be wedding singing, wedding ceremony singing as a soloist at a wedding. So since the age of 16, that's what I have been mostly doing.
We all have a dodgy photograph. I'm sure I've got one or two here I'd like to keep locked away as well. So you're no stranger to the smoky stages and the lights. And as I say, with Brendan certainly is no stranger. How did the whole appearance on Glór Tia, the invitation, how did that happen for you?
Basically, I got a call on behalf of Brendan in the run-up to Glór Tíre, and it was totally unexpected. Before that, I work full-time, obviously. I'm a marketing manager. I work full-time. But music is my ultimate love, and anytime I'm not working, you'll find that whatever it is I'm doing will involve music. But I got the phone call, and to be honest, without even thinking about it, it was a definite yes to do it, because it's a great stepping stone to further things for any performer that takes on the challenge of Glór Tíre. Number one is you're guaranteed exposure, and secondly, depending on how you perform and how the voting goes for you, you can do better for yourself. But yeah, I found out about 2 or 3 weeks up to the lead-in to Glór Tíre, and we took it from there and met Brendan and selected our songs for tonight. The duet, Where Did You Meet Her?, which is getting fantastic radio play. A great song, a very good, lively, fun song. And then I'm doing a solo with Brendan's band called The Clock on the Wall. It's a nice traditional Irish favourite.
We know them both well. Where Did You Meet Her, of course, was Brendan's last big single released, I think it was last year, and I play that one an awful lot. And The Clock on the Wall is, would you believe, my signature tune. It's the tune I play every night at the end of my show when I tell everybody that the clock on the wall tells me it's time to close the show. So I know both those tracks very well indeed. Now, you're obviously you're working full-time, as you say, but hopefully this may lead to a career in music. You touched upon it there, and I mentioned this to both Nathan Carter and Niamh McGlinchey when we interviewed them last week that Glór Tíre can come in for a little bit of criticism in terms of the way it's operated in the voting system. But I firmly believe it's a wonderful showcase for Irish talent like yourself, the ability to get there on the stage, go out to an audience that you may never come across before. And there really are no winners or losers. I know there's a voting system and people have to vote, but really I think everybody that appears on Glór Tíre is a winner. I'm sure you'd agree with that.
Well, ultimately, that's what each contestant has to take away with them, is that the exposure is there, and the same amount of exposure is allocated to each contestant. Yes, it's a strictly kind of 100% voting game. It's votes that will win the competition at the end of the day, so that might, to some people, look like the deserved result or not, but ultimately it is what it is. But I think each contestant has to admit that the exposure that they will get is what will hopefully lead them to the next step in their music career, you know.
Now, Andrew Kenny, can we see you live anywhere over the coming few months? Are you performing to the public, and can we get out and see you?
Well, actually, next Sunday I am doing a gig. Brendan, due to a family commitment, had to cancel a gig in the Radisson Hotel in Athlone. So I'm doing a gig there along with one or two other performers, TR Dallas, two or three others yet to be confirmed, but it goes ahead in the Radisson on Sunday the 26th. At around 4 or 5 p.m. I'm doing a gig there. And then I'm doing a series of local gigs around my home area, which is the Midlands, Athlone in County Roscommon. Pádraig Pearse's GA Clubhouse. I'll be doing 2 gigs there on the 1st and the 15th of February. Also, I'll be doing one in Hayden's Hotel in middle of February, yet to be confirmed. But what I will be doing is I'll be posting the 4 or 5 gigs that are upcoming in the next few weeks on my Facebook page. Also one gig, actually, Howard, yes, to mention, in the Welland Moat, just outside Athlone in County Westmeath. It's a very, very well-known traditional country music venue.
Very well known indeed.
Absolutely, and I'd imagine you've paid many visits to it. There's a charity gig there for the Carmelites to help bring people to Lourdes. That's on Shrove Tuesday, March the 4th. And there's a sterling lineup of stars there yet to be confirmed, but we'll be going ahead. And I'm lucky to be doing a few songs at that also. That's on Tuesday, March the 4th.
So you're out and about, and if anyone wants to come and see you, they can look on your Facebook page. And it's Andrew Kenny on Facebook, and Andrew will keep you updated with his forthcoming gigs. Now, any plans for any recordings? Is there any music that our listeners can download and purchase?
At the moment, I haven't got to the stage of uploading music or advertising music from a purchasing point of view, but over the course of the next few weeks, now that Glór Tíre is taking hold and thankfully my profile is somewhat increasing, I am going to be looking at that a lot more in depth. Obviously, your listeners have heard my first track there, Tougher Than the Rest, and they'll hear a song that I've composed myself called In My Life Tonight at the end of this interview. So I am hoping to record some more songs, a mix of covers and some originals, and 1 or 2 more, what you might say, up-tempo, identifiable country music songs, in addition to the more ballad songs that I have at the moment. So that's to watch out for. And again, what I will do is I will update Facebook followers on the new material that I record.
Yeah, looking forward to hearing more of you in the future, Andrew. Before we let you go, wish you the best of luck tonight on Glór Tíre. Don't forget, listeners, if you hear Andrew, you like his voice and want to cast a vote for him, simply go to the Glór Tíre website. You'll find the text number there, and Andrew is Glór2, GLOR2, to cast your vote for Andrew Kenny to keep him in the competition. Very best of luck tonight from myself, all of us here at Irish Country Music Radio, and all our listeners. You've already mentioned it. We're going to play out with a self-penned song, because as well as being a performer and holding down a full-time professional job, you're also a songwriter as well. Tell us about In My Life Tonight.
Well, as your listeners will listen to it, like all good so-called love songs or ballads, the majority of them seem to be very much influenced by, let's say, a past loved one, Howard. Would you know anything about that?
Absolutely.
So
Maybe.
It's predominantly a love ballad that was inspired maybe 5-6 years ago. I was out for a stroll one evening, and as you hear in the first line of the song, I went walking that evening as the sun began receding. So the sun was setting in the west, and my mind just started to wander, and I put down those few lines, and what you're going to hear next is what came out.
Do I detect a romantic in you there, Andrew?
Well, you know, they say it's dead, but maybe it is after hearing that little bit of a spiel, but I think there's a hint of romance in this all, Howard.
Oh, a lot of romantics tune into this programme, so you're in absolutely fantastic company. We're going to hear In My Life tonight in a couple of seconds' time, but before we do, the very best of luck once again, Andrew. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight on Irish Country Music Radio. We wish you all the best on Glor Tíre, and wish you all the very best for your future career singing and songwriting, something which obviously you love to do.
Thank you, Howard, to you, your colleagues and all your listeners. Thank you very much.
Andrew Kenny, In My Life tonight.
I went walking that evening as the sun began receding. I had to comprehend what you had said.